I had someone ask a question about how to get the characteristic equation from a circuit, and so I just drew this circuit. It's crazy. I'll end up with it, and I'll find out that it's either 1 or 0. That there's. But anyway, I just made up this crazy circuit, and I'm going to show you how to get the characteristic equation from it. Alright, so what we have here are 3 variables. We have R, P, and M. I wanted to do R and R for my initials, big R and little r, but I thought it'd get confusing. So R, P, and M. And got a NOR gate right here. I've got an exclusive OR, I've got an OR, and I've got an AND. And then because I did not work this out ahead of time, I did not figure out a way to do a not Q, like, because I didn't work it all out, so my not Q is just Q and then a not. So let's see what we've got here. So let's first write this. So what we want to do is write this as it is written here. So I've got Q follows D. So whatever D is going to be what Q is. So first I have the NOR of R and P. So the NOR of R and P is R or P, and then that's knotted. And then that is ORed with this exclusive OR right here. So that is ORed with the exclusive OR of M and not Q. So we have the exclusive OR of M and not Q. So those two things are ORed together. And then all of that is ANDed to Q. And that is what Q equals. Okay, so let's simplify this sum. So I have R or P not plus M exclusive OR Q. If you remember an exclusive OR, if I have X exclusive OR Y, that's the same as X Y bar or X bar Y. So in this case, that would be MQ or XY bar, so MQ or M bar Q bar, because if Y is Q bar and X is M, then XY bar is M Q bar bar plus M bar Q bar. So that would be M Q or M bar Q bar. And that is ANDed to Q. And let's see, what does that give us? So I could say that is Q ANDed with R or P not. I'm going to go ahead and use De Morgan's law on that and say that's the same as R bar ANDed with P bar, or M, and then I'm multiplying this Q through, and then MQ and Q is just MQ, and then M bar Q bar and Q, that's just 0, because if I had a not Q and Q, that's just Q. Um, and then this gets me Q. Well, I should have written up here where I have Q equals. This is really Q star right there. And this is Q and not R, not P, or M. So that is my characteristic equation. And I just kind of did algebraic simplification there, so I did not need to do a Carnot map on this one because I was just able to simplify it just by kind of looking through it. So I think that is it. Don't really have anything else to say here. I guess we could ask the question, well, what would a state diagram look like for this? So it's just one flip-flop, so I just have two states. I have the state 0 and 1. And so I could ask myself, well, what do I get in my different for my different combinations of R, P, and M? So we can take a look at that and see what happens. So I've got R, P, M, and Q. I accidentally paused at some point and didn't start recording, so I don't know what all I did without recording. I bet it was an awful lot. I'm not. I probably made so many mistakes it's not even worth looking at. But so what I did was to say, well, if I wanted to make a state diagram, let me see what happens for all my possibilities for R, P, and M. And so my states are if Q equals 0 or if Q equals 1, and then what happens. And so I listed out my 8 possibilities for R, P, and M. And then from my characteristic equation, I said that Q star equals Q and R bar, P bar, or M. So I found out what the value of R bar, P bar, or M is for each of these. And then I ANDed that with Q. So Q and 1 is Q, and Q and 0 is 0. And so then I had these rows, and I used a Carnot map to figure out what if the rows that corresponded to Q, I wrote those out here, and then I just did some algebraic simplification. And after I did some algebraic simplification, I did a Carnot map to come up with this expression that shows that, and so these were all the rows where Q star equaled Q. So those went, if Q star equals Q, that means if you have that as your input, that you just go back to where you were. And then I looked at the rows that had a 0, and I wrote those here, and then I tried to simplify those, and I said if you got R, M bar, you went to 0. And then I ended up with this as my state diagram. I would not worry about this a whole lot because, and I've like almost certainly made some mistakes since I just made this up and hadn't checked it. Um, but that was the general idea behind coming up with a state diagram. But the question was really about the characteristic equation, and I just got that from the circuit itself to say what Q star would be.